creating a permission structure where this kind of activity is not seen as freak shit and there is no pushback, and it becomes a situation that is like impossible to contend with. Okay? There is also a environment of there's an environment of misogyny as well. It's everything. It's rape culture. It's misogyny. It's everything that intersects. Anything for the clip seems to be the norm right now, and it's fucking gross. Yeah, and I think a lot of people forget that like the people in front of the camera are also human beings. Okay, I know it comes across as though that is not the case because you're like, oh, you guys are profoundly fortunate. And also there is this sense of entitlement where people are like, what do you mean? You wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for me and others like me. You owe me shit, right? You owe me everything. You owe me everything I need to know about your life. You owe me every single thing that I want out of you. And for female content creators, it literally goes beyond where this kind of sexual assault takes place from time to time. I don't want this. I hope the one good thing that comes out of this is that people actually really check themselves and really reconsider what kind of spaces that they occupy and really reconsider how they behave on the internet. Because nobody deserves this kind of, nobody deserves this experience at all. No one. It's so fucking unacceptable. Because I know that for a lot of people, they look at this and they go, whatever, she's fucking rich. It's like, okay, dude. It's insane. You are just trying to justify that kind of behavior, justify that kind of like cyber stalker ass behavior if you ever say something like that. Pushes him off.
Whoa.
I'm takes him away, and then another staff takes Emaru away as well. Then the security rushes back to Emaru to make sure that she's okay. But in the process, I guess like they just because Will and Caroline are at TwitchCon. Anyway, keep in mind they banned her security guard last year because he held someone until Twitch security came to get them. Yeah. And this kind of stuff happens. There is also a literal culture around some streamers that actively either try to do this. There is a culture around streamers promoting this shit, for the record. Like, it was appropriate, especially because not only do I sometimes am on the receiving end of this shit, I also think it's like a objectionable behavior. It's horrible behavior. So, like, there are literal content creators who unironically do this kind of shit and promote this kind of shit. And it's really fucking gross. There are content creators who themselves engage in this kind of behavior as well. Now, obviously, there's a difference between like a content creator that knows the other content creator and is like on, friendly and is friendly with the other content creator and they're like collaborating or whatever versus like a random content creator who is just like stalking someone. That's the difference. Like there are people who get stalked pretty fucking aggressively. And the fact that Emaru knew that this could potentially happen because as I say all the fucking time, like women have it the worst on the internet, okay? They have it the absolute fucking worst. There are unhinged stalkers that go crazy over this shit. And there are a lot of like Discord servers and like cyber stalking groups that are dedicated to female content creators especially. And in those cyber stalking communities, there's like this weird environment where people will justify this kind of behavior. It's incredibly weird. It's incredibly scary. And it is incredibly fucked up. There are female content creators who've been killed all around the world, ironically enough. There was one recently in Korea that was assassinated by a fucking stalker. There was one in Mexico that was assassinated by a stalker. And of course, here in the United States of America, we have Christina Grimmie, the famous story of Christina Grimmie as well. So like, it is so crazy. When I say ironically enough, I meant like even in places where people don't have guns, it's still terrifying. So yeah, Korean streamer Yoonji Ah has been found dead after attacked by a longtime viewer who donated almost $70,000 to her. The incident occurred after she tried to cut ties with a man in his 50s. Anyway. Shit account, but the guy just walked out like it's nothing. That's crazy. That's the guy. He just walked out. Even my wife argued that IRL should be advice this behavior. I had to argue that the lack of accessible mental health benefits of healthcare is a bigger issue. Yeah, dude, no, that's insane. That is insane. Tag the TwitchCon, and there are still chatters in here trying to drama bait.
Hashtag give it back. So, seeing meet and greet was pretty cool, though.
Yeah, he's right there.
That was fun.
He just walks past. It's to actual physical stalking is what I'm saying. But unfortunately, neither is like, there is no real method of stopping this. Okay? There is no real method of stopping this. We have no legislation. We have no mechanisms of apprehension. It's also not really taken seriously as well. It's really fucked up. Like, it's one thing to just say, oh, well, you know, it is what it is. This is bad. But like, there is an environment, there is a culture on the internet that has tried to justify this kind of shit over and over again. Like, there is a permission structure that we are supposed to maintain as a mechanism of like social enforcement. And I feel like the more vicious we become, the more ruthless we become online, the more people find ways of justifying this kind of behavior. I cannot believe that this person did not actually get, I cannot believe that this person did not actually immediately get apprehended by law enforcement. Like, how are you not arrested? How do you get to walk out of the fucking... Like, when you do this to anyone, let alone like a famous person on camera, but just like anyone in general, you should be arrested. And I guess that also is another... That also is another problem with law enforcement as well. They're just like very bad at dealing with this stuff. Okay, if I were to look through every fucking person on the internet. Anyway, what I was saying is, I mean, this is a part of that same culture of normalizing this. It is obviously completely unacceptable. And besides that, I mean, that is the basic, that's the immediate take, but it's not the only take. Okay. Not only is it completely unacceptable, but I think we really need to reevaluate the culture around this type of stuff. We really need to reevaluate the culture around this type of shit and reconsider how some content creators do egg this shit on. Okay. There are content creators out there who absolutely promote this kind of behavior within their own communities. There are content creators who basically, they call it A-logging, okay? Like the lolcow shit, the A-logging shit. There are entire streamer content creator communities that are dedicated to doing this kind of stuff, obsessively stalking people and using their community to do that, and then having like real life impact as well on top of like the normalization structure that perfectly valid this obsession is. Okay. And this obsession, when paired up with a lot of people who have a lot of mental illness, actually ends up turning into situations exactly like the one that Emaru encountered. Okay. It's a problem. And when content creators actually lean into this in any way, shape, or form, when they lean into this in any way, shape, or form, they normalize this kind of behavior. They normalize the cyber stalking. They normalize, or when content creators themselves do it, like a lot of kick streamers, okay? A lot of kick streamers have basically made it their content to behave like this, okay? Like a lot of smaller streamers that want to make a name for themselves have turned. Moment of self-reflection. I see people that say that she's the reason why that fan did what did that, because that's how she built a community. No thoughts, just yeah, exactly. Luckily there hasn't been that big of a pushback of this sort that I have seen in public, because everyone is like everyone is very frustrated right now about what happened. But if you think, it is a crazy thing to say, for the record, yes, it is a crazy thing to say, but you need to understand something, okay? While it is a crazy thing to say, people do say it, okay? It's a crazy thing to say, and people do say it. People have a tendency to automatically hit the victim blaming notes. They love doing that shit. They love insta-locking. They love insta-locking victim blame narratives. Yeah, you would be arrested for doing this to a mall Santa. Exactly. Anyway. Yeah, just a statement on it. The safety and security of all those attending TwitchCon is our highest priority. The behavior displayed by the individual involved in the incident yesterday involving a high-profile streamer was completely unacceptable and deeply upsetting. In line with existing TwitchCon security protocols, law enforcement and event security were on site and responded to the incident. We immediately blocked this individual from returning to TwitchCon premises, and they are banned indefinitely from Twitch, both online and in-person events. We are coordinating with the impacted creators team and, per our standard protocols, continue to cooperate with any law enforcement investigations. We have increased security at the meet and greet attendee check-in point, and we'll have additional security personnel surrounding participating streamers. If you RSVP'd for a meet and greet, please note that we are unable to accommodate +1s for the remainder of the event. Twitch has zero tolerance for harassment or acts that inhibit the safety and security of our community. It is really important to us that our creators enjoy their experience at TwitchCon and feel safe. I don't even know if it's just like, I don't even know if it's possible. I don't even know if it's possible. And we know that the dude just straight up walked out. And we know from Emaru's statement that like she did not immediately get looked after at all. Anyway, what happened? I don't know. Lol, I have a job. Emaru, who is one of the top female content creators on this platform, was sexually assaulted at her meet and greet by her own personal security. Actually pushed him and then went to take care of Emaru. And from what I understand, like the last security person that did this at the last TwitchCon that actually held the stalker last time was actually banned from working security at this TwitchCon. And as you can see in this incident, he would freely walk out of the doors. Here's the statement on that with Jason. Experiences like this, every single one, okay? FYI, the person who made this tweet made a death threat against you. This person Jay Lee plays games. I mean, whatever, dude. I can eat it. I can deal with it. Fucking, there's a long list. The record, like, it's just this plays a role. Okay, this plays a role. In normalizing this kind of behavior, especially if you are a content creator and you have some semblance of a community. When you say stuff like that, your fucking freak ass parasocial fans are also going to see that and be like, oh, this is awesome. We can all do this. We should all do this. Okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The story is not about me. I'm just saying every single content creator has experienced stuff like this. And the content creators themselves that also lean into stuff like this guy apparently, don't realize that they're also participating in this culture, and they're expanding the permission structure for people to do this kind of thing. Okay? Boldening. You are behaving like a freak yourselves. Of course, this used to happen to celebrities all the fucking time. The difference is, however, that celebrities at least were like somewhat inaccessible as opposed to the way content works now. And when you're always on, and when you're constantly, when you constantly have a back and forth feedback loop with your audiences, the parasocial feelings are heightened. The sense of entitlement is heightened. You understand that, like, the person that you're seeing behind the screen is not dissimilar to you in many ways and are accessible. Okay? The internet did not invent this issue. The internet simply streamlined this issue. And over the last couple of years, I would go so far as to say that, especially with Twitter becoming 4chan poll openly, it has made people feel even more comfortable and confident behaving in this way, because people get rewarded when they behave this way on Twitter now. And that has had an impact on all of the other platforms as well. That has caused other content creators to also lean in on this kind of behavior, this kind of like antisocial personality disordered behavior. And all of that has made it infinitely worse. All of that has made things infinitely worse.
Game or came, and then for some reason they're like, yeah, because your security guard touched him, he's like permabanned from the venue forever. But he didn't even hit him or anything. He just like held him while they waited for like the police to come. And
what the
like it was so sad because he did like everything.
I don't know, man. Like, even after the Charlie Kirk stuff, like, people didn't dial it back at all. People did not even remotely think to dial it back at all. They just went, all systems go. This is actually this is a product of the we have no like cultural safeguards at all. We have no social safeguards at all. Have you ever met Emiru? Yes, of course I've met Emiru. I've done content with Emiru. Why would the security guard be banned? Because the security guard apprehended a con attendee by the eyes of the Twitch executives, I guess. It's a unique situation because given that there are no safeguards around this sort of thing, and there is no like real legislation to try and deal with this sort of thing, you can't even fucking talk about it. Some content creators do talk about their own personal experiences every now and then, but most people don't. I'm telling you, what you hear from streamers about their stalkers or about incidents like this, like whether it be cyber stalking or directly like physically stalking or directly physically assaulting someone, sexually assaulting them, what you see, same thing goes with swatting. Same thing goes with cyber stalkers and real life stalkers showing up at your house. People don't talk about it. And the reason why content creators don't talk about it, the dark side of of Twitch streaming in general is because there's not really too much you can do about it. And because there's not really too much you can do about it, when you talk about it, it amplifies it and it creates copycats. Even subreddits that are cyber stalking shitholes like LSF that are purposely directed to the Streisand effect comes from that, literally. Okay? But even cyber stalking shitholes like LSF have made a rule for years and years not to show when someone gets swatted. They delete those clips on purpose because that only creates copycats. That only creates more people that want to do that sort of thing. Not to bring it back to you, but isn't there like a weird ass stalking Discord server devoted to tracking information about your parents? Yes. And not just my parents. It's just everything. Yes. But once again, that's not even the tip of the iceberg. That's like, it is what it is. There's not anything you can do about it. You just have to live your regular life. Because the one thing that these fucking dipshits want out of you more than anything else is to impact your life in some way. Just as you chat in the chat and the streamer sees your chat and reads it out loud and has that kind of brief interaction with you, some people take it one step beyond that, where they want to control your life or they want to impact your life in a negative fashion. Okay? That's what this is. It's almost like a puppet master. People do this kind of thing because they want some power over you. They have a sense of entitlement. They have a sense of unearned entitlement over everything that you are, your physical person. And on top of that, they want to control your life. They want to make sure that they can impact your life in a significant fashion. Seems like you have this exact talk every 3 to 4 months. Yes. And these issues obviously persist. I mean, look, this is what I was trying to say is like, you know, the reason why this is, you know, all too common, same content creator who's like talking about how devastating this is, okay, has also leaned into it himself, right? To a certain degree. The reason why, the reason, I mean, this is so commonplace that like and content creators that actually lean into this kind of shit are creating an environment that is less secure for themselves as well. Okay? They farm it.